To run if the door is open. That's, oh my gosh. But there's no one in the building. And these doors, if you look, they used to swing open because it was a furniture store, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, I noticed that.
But,
I think that's the camera.
and we're here. This is the 5th floor. Let me give you a little rundown on the building. This goes up to the roof.
Oh, wow. It's really hot up here.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
These little rooms that were at the inside were one room, and they had to share a bathroom.
How pretty.
And then we can start this way. Can you imagine just having one room and you have to share a bathroom? What happens
Well,
if
I
it's
grew
full-
up that way, and it wasn't the greatest thing, and I didn't even have a shower. We just had a
Yeah,
bathtub.
and
That's
these
how.
were their apartments. And here's a trivia question. You get a high five if you get answers. You know what these doors were for?
Lord Jesus, I don't know. What are
It
you?
was a milkman door. They would open it up and set there empty there. And
Wow.
in the morning he would come by and open his side and leave the full.
That's crazy.
But they're going to gut all this.
Yeah. Well, they're gonna make something nice out of it.
Yeah, they're going to be apartments. And this one says a sink, amazingly. We sold most of the sinks.
Wow. Yeah, the older.
This big, the old wallpaper, bro. Look at that. That's just like a time capsule. Built the building. His name was J.R. Daugherty. And I probably butchered his last name.
I do too.
So forgive me.
Oh, that's okay.
But he built the building. He owned the business. It was hardware, furniture, and appliance. Just
Goodness.
more apartments. But he lived here and died in this building. His name was J.R.
Jr.
And this sounds a bit far-fetched, but it's proven. It's a true story.
Wow.
So, of course, they removed, look at this old skylight, bro.
Oh my God.
I didn't realize that was there.
Could you imagine this building in its prime, how cool this would have been?
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Stop.
Especially if you were young, and you're starting out, and you're living in a, but these rooms, man, would have been horrible. But here's some more apartments. Okay, JR, when he died, his kids and grandkids didn't have the heart to clean his room, and this is a true
Oh,
story.
wow.
And he died in 1980. Craig bought the building 6 years ago, 6.5 years ago, and it took him 6 months to get the courage to clean it out.
You know.
And we went in there, and there was change on the nightstand. Things.
Oh, I mean, y'all came and cleaned it up?
Yeah, the kids left it, the family left it. For 30 years, and when Craig bought the building, it was still there. All of the stuff, the way he left it. Clothes in the closet.
Wow.
He was dying of stomach cancer, so there were Pepto-Bismol bottles everywhere.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you believe in ghosts, but I'll let him tell you the story about what happened after that night. But there was change on the
I'm
nightstand.
beginning to. I don't know that.
There was change on the nightstand, and I don't want to get
I
that
just want
change.
to encourage him to do stuff.
And this was a private detective's office from what we heard, 14.
14.
And I'm going to show you 13, which was his. Well, here's a pigeon.
pigeon.
Yeah,
Oh,
we can't stop them from coming in,
Yeah.
so I don't,
Oh
bless
yeah, all
its
right.
heart.
yeah, I'm not gonna, I saw about this guy right here.
Yeah. I can see those things get
Yeah,
into.
see him up there?
They get into houses all the time.
See that one?
No, I'm gonna open the window, see? Come on, but I don't know how to get in.
Yeah, I'm sure they know how to get out. I think.
See, all the windows are tied up. And I'll show you apartment 13.
I was born in the wrong way.
Right, and this was his room. That stuff is not his. We let someone, a friend of the family, store some shit.
13. 13's a odd number, I guess.
When he died, they say it was in that bedroom, and we believe, because that was a bedroom. But I swear to you, everything he owned was still here. The kitchen had canned food in the cupboards. And we're talking 30 years after his death.
Wow. Can't
And
believe.
it's saying, you know,
It's supposedly looks out the window or something. I
yeah,
heard
yeah,
people.
man. They said he would. There was another window, and there used to be a school. They moved it. It's still, the building's still there.
Yeah.
It's all boarded up, but it was like a dumbwaiter type thing to the next room down
That's
there.
what I was thinking when you said earlier, but that they might have had one of those. He's kind of fancy.
Yeah,
I
you know,
guess,
he lived in the
but-
best one.
So he just sold furniture, I
It
guess,
was a
basically.
hardware,
Hardware.
furniture, appliance, but his motto was, "We sell everything."
Kind of like the merchandise.
Yeah, and
common.
it was the only, you know, it was before the interstate. So you had to travel this road to get from Knoxville to Lake City or whatever.
Yeah. I guess this was his kitchen.
But the fourth floor is pretty much the same thing. You're welcome to see it.
Okay. Well, I'm just looking at the stairs. And I think this is cool. I mean, I didn't expect this.
Yeah, and there's a little staircase where they could go down to the fourth floor. This would have been a cool apartment. In fact, if we would have kept the building, me and my wife were going to
Oh my
convert this into a, you're welcome to go in. Me and my wife were going to try to fix this up. Because I think this would have been so cool fixed up. If this is me and her, you know what I mean?
Yeah. They had little closets back then, didn't they?
This would have been great for a single person. But apartment 13 is,
Apartment 13.
then we'll go back to the elevator. And like I said, the fourth floor is identical. We had a night watchman. And he was a really cool guy, man. And, on his nights off, we would have to watch the building. But he would sit here apart.
Sit in here?
Yeah, you know, he had a little table set up and he had his friends hang out. We didn't care as long as they were awake watching the building.
Yeah.
This building, I'd get the creeps.
I guess they did that to keep from
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Shoot, I wouldn't get creeped out. I'd be fine.
My daughters talked me into taking him up here on Halloween. And I said, okay. And they were here for like 20 minutes. Like, we would go home.
Yeah.
It was late night, I went to bed at night.
It is kind of spooky. It's unbelievable though
Yeah.
that
They
it's
all wanna take this building in.
that it's apartments and all that stuff.
And there was an old doctor's office, and he converted that into his home living. If you walk into his living room, that would have been the waiting room, and you could see, I stopped on that floor and pointed out to you. We'll walk down the stairs if you don't mind for the last floor.
Oh, that's fine.
I just like showing this part off. But where this exit sign is, where we're about to go, was the doctor's office. And you walk in his living room, and there's a cutout in the wall where the receptionist would have sat, and that's his coat room now. And all the bedrooms are exactly the same size because they were the patient room. In the doctor's main office, he converted it into a kitchen. So it's really cool people actually living in the doctor's office. Full of junk. It shows how big this building actually is. That's his apartment where he lives. It was the doctor's office. And these are the stairs. And we're back down on the first floor.
That's wild.
Craig, you around?
All right.
If you want to hear the story about the night he cleaned up the room, he's the one to tell it.
You probably went up to his apartment 13,
Yeah.
on the top floor. He had lived here probably for almost his entire life, and he came from a really hard background. And he passed away in the building, probably from stomach cancer, we don't know for sure. And when he died, they didn't take any of his stuff out of his room. So all of his stuff stayed in his room. His suit jackets were in the closet. When we got here, there was a quarter-inch of dust on them. His
Wow.
overcoat jacket,
Pots and
chairs,
pans.
magazines, everything, pots and pans were all up in the room. They just put on, closed the door. Everything was in the medicine cabinet. You could see all of my Lantia and Pepto-Bismol all in glass bottles. Because of course everything back in those days was in glass bottles. So that was about 1985. He was the last person living in the building. When we first got here, we'd hear footsteps all the time. So much so, we called the police multiple times.
Wow.
Like there had to be squatters up there. Because we had footsteps running and going up and down the stairs. Police would come, they go through the building with their guns drawn, and never be able to find them. We did find squatters once, but that's a different story. But the rest of the time, we could never find anybody up there. Things like we put on hardcore rock and roll here on the radio. The radio would either flip off or go to a country channel. I mean, it's just inexplicably, it would just go to a country channel.
Yeah.
A
Wow.
lot of things like that would happen. If there was a lazy employee, something would fly across the door because he was really a hard ass.
Hard guy.
Working people.
Wow.
He employed a lot of people. And he
And
expected
the
them to
one
work.
dude who told the story about a bottle flying, he was a good man. He wasn't a BSer. You know, he was a good man with a wife and planning a family. And he got freaked out. He said, "Yeah, I was just chilling, not doing anything that day."
So it was really bad when we first got here. I was the first owner outside of the family. We were changing things.
Yeah.
And there was just a lot of bad juju going around in the building. You know, typically
was
it
bad.
was bad juju. So
I didn't believe in any of that stuff.
So we were like, okay, after one particularly bad day where stuff's falling over and things are breaking and a lot of anger and hair rising up on your neck all the time, we said, okay, we're just going to stop this. I said, we're going to go and empty out his room, everything in his room. We're going to move it down into the shipping and receiving room, store the trash, where we're going to sell it. So we did that all day long. We undid it, took everything out of his room. And I was working late at the time trying to get the store open. By myself, about 11, I started hearing footsteps, like stomping.
Wow.
And hairs rising up on my neck. It's like, I'm getting a really weird feeling. So I'm like, okay. I know what we just did to JR's room. I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to leave.
Yeah.
And so I did. I did really good at turning off all the lights. And I closed that window up there. That's where he used to sit, looking out windows. They got multiple
Oh,
windows.
okay.
He was sitting out there looking out the window right up there.
Looking at the school.
I always close that window at night, closed it all off, turned off the lights, walked down to the car. By the time I got to my car and looked back up, the window was open. All the lights were back
on.
And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I'll just, that's fine. I'm just going to go. So that night, I fall asleep and everything. And at about 3:05 a.m., I get a phone call from ADT. They were saying, we got multiple alarms going off in your building. We got glass breakage, we've got multiple locations, we got multiple alarms going off in the building. Do you want us to send the police? And when they get one alarm, okay, it's a battery or something, but when they're getting multiple alarms, they're like, something's going on there.
Wow.
So they called me up and they were like, should we dispatch the police? And I said, yeah, I'll be right down there. I get down here. The police, first of all, everybody knows stories about this building. They're like, I don't know, I even want to come in that building, right?
Yeah.
But they come in. There's cupboards that are knocked over around the building. There's glass that's broken. It's everywhere
And
throughout
this
the
is
building.
true. We had glass birds, and the heads were broken off the birds.
It was like
Crazy.
that was the
Yeah.
night we took all of his stuff out of
Call
his
it the
room.
night of terror.
The night of rage,
Wow.
whatever it was. We came in at
Trying to give me
2:05.
goosebumps. Huh?
So you after that, in some places, I don't know what it does. It doesn't look like any. We checked the camera, nobody came in. I don't know what caused this. So he went. We closed. The next day, I went up to JR's room. I said, "Hey, listen, buddy. I bought this building fair and square. I bought this building fair and square. And from what I can tell, you were a fair businessman, and you know how business works. It's my building now, right? And I'm taking care of it. I'm doing good things with it." And I said, "You need to respect that. And if you're not going to, you need to get out."
Yeah.
I said, "You're welcome to stay as long as you're respectful." And then after that, it significantly ramped
Got
down
better.
after that.
Wow.
We did have a lady who was a beautiful light-skinned black lady, and she was doing a lot of work here in organizing, and stuff was messing with her, and she knew what it was, so she went to his room and said, "Look, I know."
Just kinda live with it.
Yeah, you're going to have to accept. I'm here working.
Yeah.
Leave me alone, and it died out on her.
Wow.
Which took a lot of nerve out of her. I'm not talking to a ghost.
Well,
I have
that's,
to run upstairs now, so
well, appreciate it, man. Thanks a lot. I do.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
It's a crazy building, bro. And I never believed in ghosts before I worked here, but there's a lady named Irene in the building, and the reason we know her name, two separate paranormal teams came in, both made contact.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, she died. She evidently committed suicide in one of the rooms. She means nobody any harm, but she's not leaving.
Wow.
And we had a sheriff deputy come in here, and he was probably 60-ish, and he said it was one of his first calls ever. He was retired as a sheriff's deputy, was to this building for that suicide. And he goes, "I will remember it forever." It was
Wow.
his first one that came out. But we believe she's in the building, but you catch glimpses of her, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Wow.
Hey guys, thank you for watching his channel. Please subscribe to his channel, hit the like button, and check out Happy Hippie, the vinyl guy. Happy Hippie's one word. Happy Hippie, the vinyl guy. It's all about music and just having a good time.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
you.